Hello and welcome back. This is Vinchenz and today we're going to be doing some ERT missions on the Polaris. Should be pretty exciting. This ship has got a lot of firepower, it's got a massive cargo hold, and there's going to be 5 of us on board the ship today. So as we head up the stairs here, we're going to have Lamojo, the owner of the ship, and he's going to give us a quick tour around the vessel. We start off in the hangar where he's got an Ion parked, just in case we need any extra firepower, and we're going to take one of the elevators from the hangar straight down into the cargo bay. So the cargo bay on this ship is absolutely massive. It's got 576 SCU of cargo space, and it's also got its own tractor beam on the roof of the cargo bay. Next we're going to head over to the corner of the cargo bay and we're going to take the ladders back up to the second floor. And Lamojo is going to take us to the med bay where we can set our spawn point. And on this ship there's a pretty cool feature. This blue line running down the side of the corridor will take you from one end of the ship to the other pretty much, and it leads to the med bay or back to the bridge. The med bay's got 4 tier 2 medical beds, and we've got 2 on one side and 2 on the other side. Got some escape pods on the left hand side, and we've got the stairs going down to the docking bays on the left or the right side. As we're heading to the bridge we see these red lights, and Lamojo points out that anything with red lights on the ship is taking you to a turret or some sort of weapon system. We have a quick meeting on the bridge to decide who's going to take what gun, and then we're all going to head out to our positions and set off for some ERTs. So I'm following Lamojo again, and he's taking us to the main elevator, and we're going to use this to go from level 1 down to the bottom floor. Then we turn right and we run up towards the front of the ship, and we've got the terminals for the remote missile turret and for the torpedoes. Here we've got some more red lights, and this is the turret we're going to be jumping into to start with today. So we get lowered down into the turret, and here we have our massive size 6 ballistic cannons. They are going to do some serious damage, and I cannot wait to test them out. We'll take our first ERT in the asteroids around Yellow. We're going to be avoiding atmosphere because we're not sure how well this ship will cope in the atmosphere, and we're going to stick to missions in the asteroid fields. The engines fire up and the noise is absolutely immense. It sounds like an absolute beast of a ship. And here we are at the first ERT. We have got 2 600Is, an A2 and an M2. Straight away we unleash the size 6 cannons, and this 600I starts taking damage straight away, and we've almost annihilated its rear shields already. Being on the bottom turret, we've just got to focus on whatever ship comes our way. We're not going to stay fixed on one target because it is a little bit difficult as the pilot moves around. Different ships at different times will come into our view, and we've just got to take the opportunity to get some hits on them. You do have to try and coordinate with the captain to keep your targets in sight, but if they head out of my view, they'll be heading up into the view of another turret on the ship. When doing the ERTs in this ship, you don't really have to focus one target. All the ships are taking damage no matter where they go around the Polaris, so we're sort of taking down all the ships at once rather than focusing on one target at a time. This does make killing the enemy ships a lot quicker, and obviously with the firepower that this Polaris has got, it makes mincemeat of most of these ships. Here I'm just taking it easy on the A2, and I'm going to let the boys in the other turrets with their laser repeaters soft kill the target. I don't want to overdo it with these massive guns and hard kill. So while the pilot's scanning the A2, we've got the M2 left here. And it's already got its rear shields down, so we're just going to take it easy on it, give it a few hits, and then we'll let the other guys finish it off. They do fire pretty slow, these guns, but with every hit you're delivering massive damage. You can see in the top right there that the M2 is taking multiple hits from the laser repeaters, and it's pretty cool to see that every hit being taken is reflected on the little minimap in the top right of the screen there. So we'll jump out the turret, it's time to head to the cargo bay, and we're going to load up our loot. So we head through the torpedo room, and there is the cargo bay. Absolutely massive, it's got stairs right and left. So we'll head down here, the boys are going to come and join me. The Mojo's going to jump on the terminal to use the tractor beam inside the cargo hold. I open the cargo doors on the starboard side, and we're just going to wait for the pilot to let us know when we're clear to jump out. Pretty nice feature that the ramps on this ship have got nice lighting on them. They should be visible from anywhere, which is good because ramps aren't the easiest thing to see. Now we're going to jump off and see what this A2's got on board. And we're going to load on 2 containers of Taranite and 2 containers of Gasping Revelex. So after our first ERT, we've got about 16 SCU of cargo on board. I'm now going to jump in the pilot's seat and move us over to the next ship that we've got to loot.
Weapons system is off.
Heading into the next ERT now, we're on the starboard side turret, and we've got 4 size 4 laser repeaters. They make mincemeat of this Reclaimer's rear shield, and then he pops out of view pretty quickly. On this ART we've got a Reclaimer, an 890 jump, a C2 and a Caterpillar. The 890 passes by, it's quickly out of range of my turret, and as the pilot's manoeuvring around I'm just going to have to wait and see what comes into view next. The Reclaimer's back and the shields are back up now. That is one slightly annoying thing when you're on a turret. If you don't communicate well with your other gunners, it's hard to focus targets down quickly, and you end up taking them down bit by bit. Obviously this ship's got massive firepower, so it doesn't take that long, but you could probably kill these targets a lot quicker if you focus targets between the different turrets on board the ship.
Shields down. Enemy down.
Now it's time to take down the 890, and all laser repeaters are focused on this ship now.
Target acquired. Target acquired. Shield up. Shield up.
When you're in combat on the Polaris, you can just hear all the guns raging, and it sounds absolutely awesome. The pilot's doing a good job of tracking this target, and we can all get hits directly on him, and he goes down well quick.
Enemy down.
The ship is making mincemeat of these smaller ships, and it'll be fun to take the Polaris into battle against bigger capital ships, because this just seems way too easy for it. Our ship hasn't taken any damage whatsoever, and I don't even know if these ships can penetrate our shields.
Enemy down. Enemy down.
Back into the cargo bay, and we're pulling up to our next target, and again we're going to jump off and grab the loot. We've got a few containers from our first ERT, and they're taking up hardly any space in the cargo bay. It would be pretty cool if you could fill this whole cargo bay from ERT missions, and you would stand to make a small fortune with just one load. On the Caterpillar we've had to empty a lot of the ship, and we're searching for just this one ASCU of Quantanium. Once we've grabbed that, I'll send it down to the cargo ramp, and the boys in the cargo bay can load it onto the grid from there. Finally, we're going to loot the 890 jump, and the cargo bay on this ship has been a bit temperamental. It doesn't show it lowering down, and then eventually it just appears, bang, right in front of you, fully lowered. That's been going on for the last patch or two. We've got some gasping weaver legs and some Bexelite. So we've finished our ERTs in the Polaris now, and we're going to head to a salvage yard and see how we're going to land this thing and get the loot down onto the elevator. As we're coming into land, I head onto the ramp and I give the pilot some instructions just to help him land, as it is such a massive ship, and we're trying to get as close as we can to the salvage elevator. We get as close as we can, and it does seem pretty far away, but we're going to see how far the onboard tractor beam on the Polaris can send the containers out, and then from there we'll load them up onto the elevator. First things first, I'm going to go and check the salvage elevator just to make sure it's working, or else it'd be a bit pointless unloading all the cargo if the elevator's not going to work. The ship is absolutely massive, and it seems to be dwarfing the entire salvage yard. So the onboard tractor beam can throw the containers pretty far away from the ship. We thought we'd have to create a chain of players and send them over that way, but the onboard tractor beam can send them so far that we only need one guy just to load up the containers onto the elevator. So it doesn't take long at all before we've got all the containers on the elevator and send them down into the warehouse. Not a bad haul for 3 or 4 ERTs, and we've definitely made a few mil. So checking out on the terminal, we've got 25 SCU of gasping weaver legs, worth about 2.8 mil, which is not bad for an hour's work, and we've also got 2 ultratoxin, worth about 10k. So between the 5 of us on board, we've made a little over 500k each from our first few ERTs. Finally, we're going to head to Lawville, and we've got a hand in our legal cargo. So we've got some Taronite, some Bexalite, and some Quantanium to hand in. Before we land, we're going to take the Ion out of the hangar, and he's going to go and land it in his own hangar while we unload the Polaris. It is pretty epic seeing the Ion just come out the hangar on the Polaris, and that's a pretty decent sized fighter ship to be able to store in your hangar on board your own ship. Landing in the extra large hangar at Lawville, the Polaris fits in nicely. And we unload all the legal cargo, and we're going to head straight to the TDD. Handing in our legal cargo, we made another mil, and all in all we made about 3.8 mil in about an hour on the Polaris. So I hope you enjoyed this video, guys. Thanks for watching. Please like, please subscribe to support the channel, and until next time, take it easy.